Alright guys, so this is a bit of an interesting thing they went ahead and put out here. They're doing a live stream in a couple of days here for the Road to Lost Belt 7, which, I mean, I love this tweet right here where they're just like, dude, I love the League of dragging it out. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of weird that they're announcing this now, and I got this wrong actually in the upcoming March events, because I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have Road to Lost Belt Part 3 come out, the Scotty banner will come out. But then I went and double checked because I saw this where they're starting with the prologue part 1 and 1.5, and I just kind of assumed this was something happening in the background because when it was happening on JP, you know, obviously I wasn't really paying that much attention to it because each of the Road to Lost Belt 7 things were like, you get a couple of buffs, a banner comes back with some of the units, and, you know, maybe like an interlude or something, usually not a whole lot. And I went back and checked, and yeah, we have not actually gotten that yet over here on NA. I was just sure that it was already happening as, you know, one of these like random things over here that, you know, usually I'm not going to make a video talking about, oh, Road to Lost Belt 7 Part 1, you know, it's not something that I really concern myself with, but I'm like, huh, I guess I did get that wrong because we don't have it over here yet. Like, they haven't even started. And I wonder if they're going to announce like how they're going to speed things along as opposed to the JP version, because the JP version, this was clearly dragged out for way longer than it should have been. But that's also because Lost Belt 7 got delayed a few times over on JP, whereas over here on NA, they're talking about, oh, we're going to put it out, you know, during 2024. We're not going to delay it till next year, which I kind of like. You know, that's very good. Let's obviously not try to drag this stuff out. But while I was thinking that they might be able to put it out around November, because I believe November was when they originally wanted to do Lost Belt 7 on JP, but that's when we got the first delay, if I'm remembering correctly. And so I'm thinking that we might get it around then, but that also means, you know, we got to chop. We got to start moving through these a bit quicker, because you can't just start dropping these in here to just drag things out. But we also get a whole bunch of dead weeks over here on NA, which is a bit strange when, if you want to kind of speed up the schedule a little bit to make sure that you can get Lost Belt 7 out on the, you know, quote unquote on time, you're not going to be able to have all these like random dead periods where you're just like, all right, you know, we're just going to drop, you know, the White Day pre-release campaign as something, which technically is content for newer players. They're able to play Seraph, but if you're an older player, there's just nothing that you can do during this. And I would have just assumed they would have, you know, combined these campaigns together, or drop one on Monday, drop one on Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, just start kind of getting these random filler campaigns out. Because ideally, if they started doing that, I would love to see us maybe get a year behind JP, which I've talked about pretty frequently, right? That is just something that I've been talking about, where I want us to be at least a year behind, because it gets so frustrating seeing a really cool unit come out and then you're just like, well, I guess I'll enjoy that in 2 years, right? Or slice of life things. I remember as soon as, not slice of life, quality of life things. Like I remember when we got the speed up button on JP, it made playing NA way harder. And I feel like if we ever get something like that again on JP, I'm going to be in a similar rut where it's like, well, JP has this really convenient thing that we don't have, and it kind of makes it a bit of a drag. I mean, Blue Apples is kind of, I guess, one of those things where during dead periods, you just do not have to play. You can just exchange for your Blue Apples and then stock up on that for, say, the upcoming lotto that we're going to be getting in March, you know, in a couple of weeks here. But I'm not really sure. You know, I'm not really sure what there's going to be to talk about on this. I don't even know if I'm going to stream this myself, because, you know, sometimes I'll check them out just to see, like, hey, with the back to school campaign, I wanted to see if they're going to throw anything in there, and they were like, hey, we're going to announce that we're going to do an NA exclusive, and it was a GSSR, and that I thought was really, really cool. But are we going to get any NA exclusives announced in this? No, probably not. They might just talk about the scheduling a little bit. But other than that, I don't expect any banger announcements coming out with this. I mean, it would be nice if they were just like, hey, we're actually combining things like Lost Belt 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6. You know, we're going to move with a little bit of urgency to try to make sure we get the schedule done. But I really can't see them doing something like that. I mean, for me, it just feels like fake grand stalling for the last, you know, year. If you combine both NA and the JP version, JP has been stalling for Ordeal Call 2 since, dude, what? Since like last summer, you know, like last summer they dropped Ordeal Call 1, and then it was like, hey, part 2 is coming. It's coming. When is it coming? Who knows? But it's going to arrive at some point. And so who knows? I don't know with that, and then, you know, also having Road to Lost Belt 7, I don't know, man. It's just like, oh, whoop-de-doo. You know, I'm surprised we weren't already starting this, because again, like, this is crazy. The fact that it's been 2 months and we haven't even started it, which, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure people on my streams have brought it. They're like, hey, the Road to Lost Belt 7 hasn't started. I'm like, what are you guys are talking crazy, bro? You guys are talking nonsense. But no, I probably should have paid a bit more attention because I didn't even notice it. But like I said, it's not something that I care about. It's not something that I think of like, oh, I gotta inform people that the Road to Lost Belt 7 has officially kicked off. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if they would like to spice things up, they throw us an extra banner, but is anybody really going to care about that? Like, what, for Lost Belt 3? I mean, you already have, like, say, Sigurd, Scotty, and Brynhild are all coming out. I think Napoleon also comes out. I mean, for Lost Belt 1, they bring all the guys back. They bring out Anastasia, Ivan, all those guys. So it's like, I don't know if they can just chuck an exclusive banner because they were already really good at getting all of the units on there. And they're not going to give us an NA exclusive buff, which, again, I think would also be something really nice. And if we're going to be 2 years behind, maybe spice up our gameplay a little bit by saying, all right, we're going to give this guy an insane buff that only NA has and JP might get in the future. You know, that, I think it'd be cool. You know, screw it. Throw Sigurd a 50% battery, right? And then some people will probably actually use him. I mean, he does do some pretty big damage, so I guess you could use him as a single target farmer, I suppose, or being able to fire his NP a bit more consistently in Challenge Quest might make him a little bit more viable. But that's stuff that I think we're just not going to get. Like, I don't think they're going to talk about the pacing for it. Although I will say Albert seems to have, you know, the guy that runs a lot of these things, he seems to have a little bit of a good read on the community. He's like the only person that really will mention on the FGO staff, be like, oh, I know about your guys's Clairvoyance EX, and he's like, ooh, we're going to try to throw you off this time. So, I don't know, maybe he'll try to give us some type of assurance that, no, we're not going to stall the thing out, Lost Belt 7's not going to be late, but we'll see, because Lost Belt 7 does bring some very, very strong servants for it. I mean, if you're more on the free-to-play side, getting someone like Nitocris Alta into the general pool could definitely help you out if you randomly pull her. Definitely could be a banger Arts Looper for you. And then you have Kukul Khan, who I know is like the headlining unit that everybody wants. You know, I like to see her in here as well, because Kukul Khan is just really crazy. Maybe not as good if you're a Koyan Dark enjoyer, because then it's like, well, you just know that you're using a worse servant. But it's like, you know, I use worse servants all the time just because I prefer them, right? Like, you know, I use Cursestorm instead of Kojiro often just because I like Cursestorm a little bit more. You know, I think it's pretty dope. So there's nothing wrong with using a servant that's not as good. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys might be hoping for. But again, keep it realistic. You know, maybe getting a couple extra Saint Quartz, that might be real. You know, if they decide to give us extra little bonuses here and there, that's real. But an exclusive banner, like, what are they going to throw on there? Like, they were already really good about nailing every single servant from the story chapters into, like, the banners. And, you know, we're not going to get, like, an NA exclusive buff. I think they go crazy. The NA GSSR was nice for the back to school campaign, but I don't think that they're going to give us a GSSR for each of the Road to Lost Belt 7s. That would be ridiculous. I mean, it would be nuts if there was even just the units from the Lost Belt as a GSSR. I'd probably still do that. Because, I mean, I'd take an NP3 Anastasia. I'd take an Ivan. You know, throw them at me. I'll take them. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And I'm tempering my expectations. Maybe I will go ahead and stream this, but I don't know. What is the 29th? The 29th is Thursday. It's a Thursday. Yeah, maybe I'll just stream it. I mean, I try to stream every day. Or, well, I've been trying. Monday, Wednesday, Friday's been going pretty strong. But Tuesday, Thursday, I kind of slack on a little bit. So maybe that'll be my incentive to stream on Thursday. This is usually when I start streaming. 6 for me. So I don't know. We'll see. But with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the flippity floppity. Peace.